Hello viewers, Namaskar. My name is Dr. Siddharth Srivastav. I will be taking the session today on kitchen brigade in modern day setups. So it is very important to understand what is the requirement to plan a proper hierarchy in the modern day setups in the kitchen environment. So I will be taking you through our presentation today, and where we will be discussing all the basic requirements as well as all the positions which are available which needs to be taken for taking the kitchen department further. So first of all, we have to understand what is a chef, or how will you define a chef. So there is a difference between a chef and a cook. So how we define a chef? Chef is a trained professional, or you can call him as a cook also, who is proficient in all the aspects of kitchen preparations, often focusing on a particular cuisines. So if you will be finding a lot of chefs who are coming up from the different backgrounds, somebody is specialized in Indian cuisine, somebody is specialized in Chinese, maybe Mexican, maybe Italian. So you will be finding a different positions in the kitchen department, and the chefs who are coming from a different sort of backgrounds, and they are specialized in a particular cuisine. So a chef can be a person who is a professional cook, and he has to be proficient in all the aspects of food preparation of that particular type of cuisines. So if you'll talk about the basic requirements for a individual who are aiming or planning to become a chef, the most important thing for him is, the first thing has to be attitude, the way he thinks or feels about something. Or the second thing, you can consider it as a behavior, the way in which one acts or conduct oneself, especially towards others. So both these things are very, very important, and according to me, it's the most, the things has to be there on the priority if you're planning to choose a right attitude and behavior. So a right behavior and attitude is must in the kitchen. So because you are producing different types of meal, you're working in a environment where there's a huge rush, you don't have much of the time. So you require a good attitude and the behavior towards your colleagues, and you should understand the process and you should know the behavior. You should take it further. There are other aspects also. The first one needs to be hard work. Kitchen is not a department where you will be working 9 to 5 or maybe 8 hours in a day. You require a lot of hard work, and the shifts are sometimes usually little longer also. You will get obviously you will get a rewards and you will get incentives for it, but you will always find the people who are working in the kitchen environment, they're working very hard. So you have to be a hard worker. The second thing has to be patience. So you have to be patient. So you cannot say that I can't do it, or you cannot just leave the things in between. So once you have started a particular type of work, you have to take it till the end and you have to complete it. So you as a chef, you should have a good patience also, and you have to complete the task. The third point can be considered as a zeal to learn. So you should have you can never say as a chef, and after working so many years into industry and academics, I never say that I know this thing completely. So if you're planning to grow up in the kitchen department, so you should have a zeal to learn also. You should always try to act, or you should always try to learn different types of things, something which is created by maybe your juniors or maybe seniors or maybe some other chefs. You should have a zeal to learn about it. So you should always try to implement, or you should always try to experiment with different types of ingredients. You should always try to learn different types of techniques, maybe try to innovate with the cooking techniques also. So all these things will come under the zeal to learn. So it's the most important aspect you have to consider. The fourth point can be considered as a creative nature. So your creativity is very important. So you should know how to choose the right colors for your plate presentation. You should know how to choose the best ingredients which can support your dish. You should know how to choose the best plating, or maybe the best plates for your dish which you are presenting to the guest, or maybe according to the environment, or maybe according to the preference of the guest. So all these points needs to be there. You should have a good sense of creativity when you are planning to to grow up with your career in the kitchen department. The next point can be considered as a strong sense of responsibility. So once a task is allocated to you, you should have a sense of responsibility that this is the task which is being assigned to me by my chef, or maybe my colleague, or by a senior. So you have to take it further and you have to complete that task. Anyhow, whatever it takes, you have to complete the task. You cannot leave it in between. So this is the most important thing. So when you are planning, or when you are hiring, or maybe you are planning to set up your own restaurants or outlets in these days in the market, so you should have an understanding that you must hire a person who will be having a strong sense of responsibility. So once a person is responsible, you can at least rely on him, because sometimes in the modern day setups, it's very common that you are running shortage of staffs. So that is the most challenging thing which can come up to you. So you have to always have a person who will understand this thing, that okay, the other person is not available, so I am responsible for it, or I will try to overcome his responsibility. The next thing is presence of mind. So he or she should have a good presence of mind also. So whenever you are preparing something, whenever you are doing something, you are trying to innovate, or you are trying to put up a new setup in your menus and something. So the person whom you have hired should have a good presence of mind also. So all these points which needs to be there when you are hiring for a chef for your outlet or maybe for your kitchen department. There are certain other attributes also which are very important, and one should look for all these attributes when you are hiring for somebody. The first one is punctuality. The person has to be punctual. So the kitchen department works 9 to 5, or it never works 9 to 5. It starts maybe generally at 7 o'clock in the morning, and to put up a show at 7 o'clock in the morning, you will be having a team of chefs who are working 24 into 7 into 365. So you will never say the hotel is closed or the outlet is closed. Food outlets are always open. Hotels are always open. So you will be having a person who is punctual towards his duties and responsibilities. So punctuality doesn't mean that a person has to be honest or something, because we are dealing with timings. So timings, sometimes with the odd timings, sometimes you're working on the day of holidays, maybe New Year, Christmas, Holi, Diwali, and all those birthdays and anniversaries of your friends and families also. So you have to be punctual. Once a task is allocated to you, you have to be there on your particular time, because if you are not there, the other person will not be released from his duties or responsibilities. So once you will replace him, once you will report for your duty, the other person will be released. The second thing can be considered as the knowledge of menu. So you have to have a thorough or a brief knowledge about the menu which you are serving for your guest. So a lot of people, when I enter the kitchen, I will be having all my subordinates with them. I ask them, what is this? What type of dish you are preparing, what type of sauce you are preparing, what all accompaniments you will be serving to your customers or maybe guests. So how to prepare it, what is the cooking temperature, what is the right temperature to serve it. So keep on asking all these questions. So a person, if you're planning or if you're thinking to grow up in the kitchen, you should have a good thorough knowledge about your menu, so which is being served to the guests, because you will find a lot of people these days are very curious about what all things are served in the restaurants, how it is prepared. They will be asking a lot of questions also. So as a chef, if you cannot answer those questions, I think you will be at a wrong place. The other thing is memory. So you should have a very sharp memory about it, because you should understand, because a person or maybe your chef have taught you something. So you cannot just replicate everything every time. So you should have if you are having a good memory, you should understand that, okay, this is the process, this is the right temperature, this is the ingredient, when should I add this, when should I remove this. So you should have a good memory also to understand the proper concept of that particular dish. The next point can be considered as the honesty. So you should be honest about it. A lot of times you will be finding chefs will also make a mistake. The juniors will make a mistake. So you have to be courteous enough to come forward and say, okay, this is the mistake which I have done. So I consider honesty is the most important concept for the chefs with whom I am working. So you have to be little honest about what is being done. You should, if I'll talk about in the layman language in the kitchen department, we used to take somebody have chopped onions or maybe tomatoes, and we used to take something from the others. So whenever you are taking something, don't ask them, take their permissions and take whatever you want. Nobody will deny it, but you have to be honest with your work. Do not just take things from here and there. The other thing is the most important concept is loyalty. So if you're talking about the person for whom you are hiring, the person has to be loyal to your company. At least you are giving him training or showing him what all things, all concepts which are being done at your end. So the person has to be loyal, and he should spend at least 4 or 5 years, a good number of years with your company or with your outlet. So he or she should understand what is the process or what is the concept of it. The other thing is conduct. So when we are talking about conduct in the kitchen, so whatever is being taught to you, whatever standard operating procedures, SOPs are given to you, so you have to understand and you have to follow all those code of conducts or the conducts which is being given to you. So it's very important that you are always aware about which is being the tasks which are allocated to you, as well as you have to, what are the timelines where you have to complete all those things. So these are the very important concepts or the points which needs to be taken care of. The other point, if we'll talk about the sense of urgency. So you should understand the person who is sitting outside in the restaurant is always in urgency. He never thinks that there are 200 people sitting in the restaurant, or maybe you are having only 10 or a staff or 10 or 12 chefs in the kitchen. The person, whenever he or she orders, they want their food as quickly as they can. Okay, so it's your responsibility to understand the system or the flow of KOT. KOT stands for kitchen order tickets, KOTs which are coming to you. So you should understand the process of KOTs when they are coming to you, and you should also understand which one is supposed to go first. So they are also always in the sense of urgency. So you also have to take care of it, and you have to ensure that the sense of urgency from the point of view of the guest. So always try to give priority to all the things which needs to be completed. The other thing can be considered as an approach to the customers. You should always have an approach to the customer. Never think that I'm working in the kitchen department, so I will never go out in the restaurant and speak to them. Always make it a habit. If you talk about the modern day kitchen setups, you will be finding all the chefs who are there in the restaurants, deputed in the restaurants also. You are having the kitchens, we call it as a show kitchens, where chefs are working continuously. So these chefs are interacting with the customers. So you should have a positive approach to the customers also. Go speak to them, take their feedback, and based on their feedback, try to improve your products. Okay, so approach to customers is very, very important. The other thing is customer satisfaction. So you have to ensure, you have to take care of the satisfaction which you can derive from the customers. So look at them, and this is only possible when you will be having a positive approach to the customers. You can approach the customer, ask about their feedbacks. Considering their feedback, you can make out that they are satisfied or they are not satisfied also. So and if they are satisfied, how you can further improve their satisfaction level. If they are not satisfied, that what are the loopholes or what are the points which needs to be taken care or which needs to be improved. So based on those exercises, you can improve the customer satisfaction of your outlet. The other attribute which is very, very important is situation handling. Situation handling, what kind of situation you will get at that particular moment of time, you will never make out. Okay, so you will be put up in a different level of situations, sometimes a positive one, sometimes difficult to handle. I have seen a lot of chefs who look towards their managers, or maybe their superiors, or maybe their head chefs or something. So if you get an opportunity to handle a particular situation, obviously when I'm talking about these kind of situations, so I'm assuming that at least at your level you can handle them. So if you cannot handle them, you cannot handle those situations, then approach to your seniors. But always, because I believe that one day you also looking forward to grow up into their shoes, or maybe take those positions of the executive chef, or maybe sous chefs, or the chef de cuisines, to try to handle those situations according to you. Never put up that I will go. I've seen a lot of chefs who will just come across these kind of discussions with the guest and approach the manager. Sir, I will go and call my head chef, or I will call my managers. So always try to solve those issues, try to solve those problems by yourself. Okay, so I'll take you forward to the kitchen hierarchy. What are the modern day kitchen hierarchy setups are there? So we usually classify hotels into 2 or 3 or maybe 4 categories. One is small hotels. Small hotels are usually where you will be having around 0 to 25 number of rooms. Medium hotels, where you will be having somewhat around 25 to 100 rooms. A large hotel, where you will be having somewhat around 300 rooms, and a very large hotel where you will be having somewhat around a hotel which is having more than 300 number of rooms. So it is not compulsory, so the number of kitchen hierarchy or the number of chefs which are required for a small hotel will be the same for a large hotel or maybe a medium hotel or a extra large or a bigger hotel. Okay, so it depends upon the requirement. So if you are having a hotel which is just having 25 number of rooms, obviously you will be requiring less manpower. But if you are dealing or if you are working with a bigger or a larger hotel which is having somewhat around 300 number of rooms, so you will be obviously requiring a huge setup of your kitchen departments. You will be having, you can say you will be having different outlets also. Obviously, if you are talking about star category hotels or maybe a deluxe category hotels, so you will be definitely having a in-room dining services. You will be definitely having a coffee shop or maybe a specialty restaurants, maybe a Chinese kitchen or maybe an Indian kitchen. So this is common for all the outlets. But if you are talking about a very large hotel which is serving more than 300 rooms in the hotel, so they will be having a footfall of somewhat around, we will be considering only, so we consider 300 rooms in the hotel with a double occupancy, so that will give you a number of somewhat around 550 to 600 people who will be coming to your coffee shop, because breakfast are usually complimentary for them. So you will be having a 600 footfall for your customers in your coffee shop for the breakfast, along with some or maybe a few guests who will be coming as a walk-in guest also. So you will be serving somewhat around 700 number of guests for the breakfast only, and followed by the lunch and dinner also. So you have to be prepared. You will be requiring a bigger team. Okay, so I will take you quickly to the what type of setups it will look like. So all the kitchen brigades will be having will be headed by executive chefs. The head of the kitchen department is always an executive chef. Maybe it is a small hotel or medium hotel or a large hotel or an extra large hotel. So the kitchen team is always headed by an executive chef. And if you'll talk about India, and if you'll talk about the European culture or maybe the outside India also, we will be having a position of chef de cuisine. Okay, in India we will be having executive chefs also, followed by the executive sous chefs or maybe chef de cuisines. But if you'll go abroad, you will be finding a position which we call it as a chef de cuisine, followed by the different CDPs of different departments. So you will be having various department in the which are the subsections of the food production department. We can call it as a Indian kitchen, we can call it as a bakery, we can call it as a commissary, we can call it as a butchery, we can call it as a patisserie, and there are various other sections in room dining, or you will be having different specialty outlets also. Examples are Chinese kitchen, Mexican kitchen, or maybe Thai kitchen. So you will be having different executive sous chefs as well as CDPs. CDP stand for chef de parties. Chef de parties are the people who are actually responsible for the timely production of the food items at that particular level. Under the CDPs, you will be having Commis 1, 2 and 3, or some of the hotels will be given as a position of DCDPs also. DCDPs stands for demi chef de parties. So they work under the CDPs and they are in the next of the line. So CDPs are usually outside the food pickup counters, and all the kitchen and team will be working inside. So all the Commis 2, Commis 3, Commis 1s and the trainees, apprentice as well as DCDPs also working inside the food counters, and the CDPs are outside. So CDPs will announce what is required. The different sections or the chefs assigned to them will prepare that food and will be given to the counters, and CDPs are the people who will be producing that food to the F&B service team, and they will be taking the orders inside. Sous chefs are in charge of that particular kitchen. They are required in case somebody is not available at their position. So it's their responsibility to depute somebody or maybe replace them by themselves. So they are the people who will be doing that. So if you will talk about the kitchen organization chart in the Indian kitchen setup, it will look like this, which is visible on your screen. So the position will be executive chefs on the top, followed by the executive sous chefs. You will be having different further subsections of the kitchen. So if you have a look at the screen of your system, so you will be having different positions of it. based on the kitchen departments. So first one is the larder kitchen. Larder kitchens are the cold kitchens, and where all the cold items are served and prepared. You will be having butchery section, you will be having commissary kitchens, you will be having specialty kitchens, you will be having different potage sections, soup sections, followed by the CDPs of all these sections. Under CDPs, you will be having different DCDPs also. DCDPs and CDPs stands for, again I am repeating, CDPs stand for chef de partie, DCDP stands for demi chef de parties, followed by Commi 1, Commi 2, Commi 3, and further down the line they will be having trainees also. So people who are working in different setups, they will be having different trainees also. These are also modern day setups, so some of them will be having it. So we'll see you after a short break. I'll wait for you.
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने,
धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो, धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो।
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो,
कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो।
मित्रों हम उठे और जागे,
मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने।
जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने।
राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय का है द्वार खुला सबकी खातिर। शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर।
शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर। दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बात,
कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने, स्वयं बने, हम
So namaskar and welcome back, viewers. We were talking about the kitchen brigade or kitchen setups in the modern day setups. So we will be taking you further with the duties and responsibilities of the head chefs or the executive chefs. So it is very important to understand what is the concept of executive chefs. We are looking at the hierarchy. We have already come across that executive chef is the person who will be heading a particular type of kitchen. Maybe it is a restaurant, maybe it is a food outlet, or maybe a small setup, or maybe a 5-star hotel. So you will be always having executive chefs who will be heading the kitchens, as well as there are numerous opportunities available in the market. Examples are the retail companies or the manufacturing companies who are dealing with the types of tools which are used in the kitchen. So you will be having the similar kind of positions of the executive chefs who will be dealing or who will be heading those departments. So some of the responsibilities or duties of executive chefs are as follows. First one is the vision and the goal of the organization. So executive chefs has to be always clear what is the requirement or what is the vision of the company or the outlet or the organization. So he has to be clear with the goals. Goals in the terms of number of packs we are looking forward to it, number of people we are going to serve in a particular day, types of cuisines we are going to serve in a particular day, number of items which we will be serving in our outlets, and the availability of all those things. So executive chef, you can always say it has to be, he or she has to be lead by examples. So you cannot just rely on somebody, or you should always prepare your image in front of your subordinates or with your junior chefs. You have to be always lead by your example. So you have to do your work first, and you have to teach it to your subordinates so they can take it forward. You should have always a smiling face, or maybe greet with smiles with your subordinates or maybe your juniors. So I always come across a lot of videos or maybe some kind of small reels or stories on the Instagram or maybe Facebook and YouTube. You will be finding kitchen departments or the chefs are always very strict. Yes, they are strict because they have to deliver or they have to come up with the particular targets which they have for a particular day. But as an executive chef, you should always greet others with a smile. Always have a sympathy towards them. Always do not wait that he or she is my junior, he will come and greet me, or maybe should say good morning. Always go and speak to them and try to be little friendly with them and try to understand how the work is going, whether they are being taken care of by the company or the department itself. The other point can be considered as anticipate guest needs also. You should understand not only the needs of your staff, as well as you should understand the needs of your guests also. So whatever is being taken care, whatever they require, what kind of environment or what are the recent trends in the market. So as a executive chef, you should always anticipate the requirement of your customers or maybe your guests. So obviously this is the way you can convert them into as your regular customers. So if you will understand their needs and try to fulfill their requirements, they will become your regular customers. The other point can be considered as a team player. So you have to be a team player first of all, obviously. So you have the capability, or you should have a sense of urgency in such a manner that you can replace any of the team member. So a particular chef on a particular day requires a week off or maybe some emergency at his home. So as an executive chef, always try to look for some kind of help. If nobody is available or you cannot replace that person, so okay, put up your aprons and just say that okay, you can go and you can leave, I will take care of it. So you have to be a team player, and you should always lead by examples also. The other thing is developing oneself. So you should have a sense of development also. Try to develop a lot of things, try to enroll with different courses, try to work for the departments or try to work for those setups where you can develop yourself. Try to, there are different kind of development programs, there are online courses also available. So you should always try to learn and improve yourself. The other thing can be considered as a commitment to quality and profitability. So always look forward to a system or the items or the menu items which can be profitable. You cannot compromise with the quality. You are already committed to the quality. Your organization have already set up a benchmark for them. So you should always plan for a particular or always give a commitment to the quality and profitability. So last time we have achieved this target, maybe we'll try to improve furthermore, or we'll try to achieve little more about it. So this is the way you should be try to improve your standards, try to improve your quality and improve the profitability of your organization also. The most important thing for an executive chef can be considered is the identify and developing the new products. It's very important to have a understanding because the market scenarios are changing day by day. So you should understand and have a proper plan to develop new products. What is required, how to overcome the things, how to produce new items in the kitchen. They should look more productive. They should have a good eye appeal to the customers. So all these things आपको इस तरीके से, सबसे पहली चीज़ है कि आपको इसी तरीके से सोचना है, नए प्रोडक्ट्स क्या क्या अवेलेबल है मार्केट में, उन सब के बारे में आपको पता होना चाहिए. And you should always try to identify and develop different varieties and the products which can be used. If you'll talk about maybe 10 years, 15 years, 20 years back, people used to have only 2 types of meat items or maybe 3 types of meat items, which are chicken, fish and maybe goat. Or nowadays, if you'll talk about, a lot of meat items are available in the market. People are very fond of seafoods. People are very fond of beef. People are very fond of pork also, as well as different molecular gastronomy have taken up filled the gap also. So it's your responsibility to identify and develop new products for your customers, and it's your responsibility to identify new equipments also which are available in the market to give or equip your staff also, or maybe your down the line chefs also, to prepare new dishes. So it's very important that you should understand. So if I'll give you an example, 5 years or maybe from the last 10 years, there is a huge changes in the bakery industry also. So there are several products nowadays. Before we will be having only deck ovens which are available. Now we are having combi ovens which are available in the market. So it's a responsibility of the executive chef to have a proper or a clear understanding about the proper functioning of these ovens, as well as train their down the line staff also how to prepare it and how to use those ovens also. So it's your responsibility to identify new equipments and train your staff about the functioning and the processes which are associated with that particular type of equipment. So the other thing you can consider as a develop and define quality standards of food preparation and presentation. So you should have international standards of food preparation and presentations also. Ensure the quality of food preparation and presentations. So they has to be world class. The exact and the type of plating which is required. The type of food which is being ordered maybe 10 times in a day has to look similar. ऐसा कभी नहीं होना चाहिए कि आप एक ही चीज़ अगर 10 बार आपके पास ऑर्डर आता है तो आप 10 बार उसकी प्रेजेंटेशन अलग कर देते हैं, 10 बार उसकी प्लेटिंग अलग कर देते हैं, 10 बार उसके अकम्पनीमेंट्स चेंज कर देते हैं. सो एवरी टाइम मे बी इट इज 100 times in a day. 100 times a particular orders come to you, it has to go in the similar kind of plate, it has to go with similar kind of garnishes, it has to go at a correct type of temperature. Okay, so it is the responsibility of the executive chef to ensure that it will be served in a manner every time it will come to you. Okay, so a plate has to be decided. The new concept, if you will talk about the modern day setups, so you will be having different kind of pictures along with the plating techniques, along with the garnishes, along with the presentations. So सब चीजों का एक picture लगा रहता है. So whenever the orders come to you, you should understand and you should know what type of picture. Looking at that picture, what type of plate you have to pick up, what type of food you have to prepare and how it will go in that particular plate. So उसकी presentation कैसे होनी है, उसके साथ क्या क्या garnishes जाने हैं, उसके साथ sauce प्लेट के अंदर जाएगा या सेपरेट जाएगा. तो सारी चीज़ें आपको पहले से पता होनी चाहिए. एंड इट इज़ द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द एग्जीक्यूटिव शेफ टू ट्रेन हिज और हर स्टाफ ऑल्सो. आप एग्जीक्यूटिव शेफ हैं तो आपको ही आपकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है अपने स्टाफ को इस तरीके से ट्रेन करना कि हर टाइम हम सेम प्रोडक्ट डिलीवर कर पाएँ. The other most important thing is establishing new recipes and method of preparation. So there are, if you'll talk about the authentic processes and authentic systems also, नई नई recipes आ गए, method of preparations आ गए. So आपकी responsibility है कि आप उसको अपनी टीम को, अपने डिपार्टमेंट को शोकेस करें कि किस तरीके से उसकी सर्विस होती है. सो इट्स योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कि किस तरीके से हम नई रेसिपीज को और मेथड ऑफ प्रिपरेशन को हम आगे टुक फॉरवर्ड करें. Define organization of work within the department. So it is your responsibility as an executive chef. The responsibility of executive chef is to define the work also, like who will do what. So you should have a proper job specification and job description of all the positions which are available in the kitchen. So you will be having 10 chefs who are working with them. So the standard operating procedures or the number of work which they have to take forward in their 8 hours or 10 hours of their shift. So it has to be clearly defined, and you should you should plan those activities in such a manner that all the work has to be done in a minimum duration of time using all the available resources also. So it is the responsibility to define an organization of work within the department. Maybe in your department you have to allocate or maybe sub-allocate to somebody else also, who will be delegating these the work which has to be taken care in the kitchens. The other points or the other things which needs to be taken care is ensure availability of stock or raw materials by proper planning, coordinating with purchasing stores. So आपको ये ensure करना है कि आपके stocks available हो, raw ingredients available हो. You have to do a proper planning and coordination with the purchase and store departments, and the best quality of raw material needs to be procured. So you have to identify which vendor is supplying the best quality of raw material. You have to plan and coordinate with the purchase department and the store department. You should produce them with the requisitions well in advance. आप 15 दिन पहले, 10 दिन पहले से planning करके चलिए कि what all are your requirements. You give it to them. They will be procuring it and they will be delivering it to you. So there will be no delay in the services, and you have to ensure the best quality of raw material needs to be procured. So whichever brand or whichever company is producing is giving the best raw material. So you have to do this only becomes possible when you will be having a proper research and development teams. So with the help of research and development, with the help of the regular feedback from your chefs, with the help of regular feedback from your customers, you will come across that which raw material is the best. So accordingly you can try to purchase them or maybe procure them with the help of purchase and store departments. Another thing is ensuring storage of raw and cooked material. This becomes a very big challenge when we talk about the modern day setups in the kitchen department. So people prepare, cook food, and they just leave it like that, or they just forget to put it in a proper storage. So it is your responsibility, it is your prime key sense of responsibility, which you have to ensure that the food which has been cooked or which is being prepared has to be stored properly to ensure the shelf life also. So for example, all the meat items, if you will put it outside maybe at a temperature less than 3 degrees Celsius, they are having a tendency to become maybe rancid or maybe बहुत जल्दी खराब हो सकते हैं. सो आपको हमेशा ये ध्यान रखना है कि किस तरीके से हमें उससे स्टोर करना है, किस तरीके से हमें रॉ मटेरियल को किस तरीके से प्रोसेस करना है और कुक्ड मटेरियल को किस तरीके से प्रोसेस करना है. हम हमेशा चीज़ों को कोल्ड स्टोरेज में रखते हैं विद प्रॉपर डेट, विद प्रॉपर टैगिंग. कौन सी चीज़ पहले शुरू हुई थी. वी इन किचन्स वी यूजली फॉलो अ कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ लीफो एंड फीफो. लीफो स्टैंड्स फॉर लास्ट इन फर्स्ट आउट, फीफो स्टैंड्स फॉर फर्स्ट इन फर्स्ट आउट. सो जो चीज़ सबसे पहले आई थी वो सबसे पहले कंज्यूम होगी. एग्जाम्पल्स अगर मैं लूँ तो एग्जाम्पल हम ले सकते हैं एग्स का. सो जो एग्स 3 दिन पहले आए थे, अगर मुझे आज एग्स यूज़ करने हैं तो मैं 3 दिन पुराने एग्स को यूज़ करूँगा. सो लास्ट इन फर्स्ट आउट. और फर्स्ट इन फर्स्ट आउट किसी प्रोडक्ट की शेल्फ लाइफ बहुत ज़्यादा है. एग्जाम्पल्स आर अनियंस. सो अनियंस के केस में हम क्या करते हैं कि अनियंस का यूजुअली एक बकेट रखते हैं, उसके अंदर हम अनियंस को निकालते रहते हैं और फर्स्ट इन फर्स्ट आउट भी आप कर सकते हो. सो अगर प्रोडक्ट की शेल्फ लाइफ ज़्यादा है तो आप फीफो के कॉन्सेप्ट पे आ सकते हो. अगर शेल्फ लाइफ कम है तो हम यूजुअली कॉन्सेप्ट पे जाते हैं लीफो के. The other thing is coordinate with the engineering department. So we will be using a lot of electrical tools. We will be using a lot of electrical appliances in our kitchen. So आपको ensure करना है कि सारे आप engineering department के संग मिलकर उसको coordinate करें. और किसी तरीके से आपको ये इंश्योर करना है कि कभी भी उसमें कोई इलेक्ट्रिक लूप होल्स ना हो, आपकी प्रॉपर स्टोरेज प्रॉपर हो, आपकी फंक्शनिंग प्रॉपर हो, तभी आप अपने प्रोडक्ट्स को डिलीवर कर पाएंगे. The other thing is recommend menu pricing. So based on the market trends, किस चीज़ की डिमांड ज़्यादा है, किस चीज़ की रॉ मटेरियल की कॉस्टिंग क्या है. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आपकी चिकन की या मटन की और मे बी द मेन आइटम्स की कॉस्टिंग ऊपर जा रही है, तो आप हमेशा सेम चीज़ में डिलीवर नहीं कर पाएंगे. आपकी सॉसेज में आप देखते होंगे मार्केट में कभी कभी समटाइम्स द प्राइसेस ऑफ टमाटो, समटाइम्स ऑफ द प्राइसेस ऑफ अनियन गोज अप सडनली. सो जब वो प्राइसेस ऊपर नीचे जाते हैं तो आपकी जो मेन्यू प्राइसिंग है, सो इट्स रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द एग्जीक्यूटिव शेफ टू रिकमेंड मेन्यू प्राइसिंग ऑल्सो, कि मेन्यू के प्राइसेस ऊपर जाएंगे या नीचे जाएंगे या स्टेबल रहेंगे, ये सारी चीजें भी एग्जीक्यूटिव शेफ डिसाइड करते हैं. Responsible for hygiene and cleanliness, so they are the people who are behind the standards. We call it as a HACCP also, hazard analysis critical control points. So cleanliness और hygiene के लिए ये लोग responsible होते हैं. They have to ensure that the entire department or entire kitchen is always hygiene and clean. So it is their responsibility. You have to ensure हमेशा वहाँ पे सफाई रहे. The number of time they needs to be clean in case of emergency, in case of some kind of spillage. किस तरीके से हमें उसे ट्रीट करना है, किस तरीके से हमें क्लीन करना है, who will be responsible for cleaning, who will be responsible for washing. So all these things has to be decided by the executive chef of the kitchen. The other thing is restaurant hygiene checklist also. You have to ensure not only the hygiene of the kitchen, you have to ensure your staff is also hygienic. And you should create a hygiene checklist also. Proper ventilation in the kitchen departments, as well as regular inspection. You should do a surprise visit to the kitchen, or maybe surprise visit to the shelves, maybe surprise visit to the storage counters where you will be keeping the equipments, you will be keeping the raw material. So everything has to be cleaned, everything has to be sanitized, and it is your responsibility to the regular checkups of it. You have to ensure that you are doing the regular inspections, and you have to take care, you have to ensure that all your equipments are clean, nicely placed at their positions, and sanitized also. So staff's hygiene is also a very important factor. So some of the hotels will be having a concept that after every 30 minutes or maybe after every 1 hour 30 minutes or 1 hour there will be alarm and everybody will go and wash their hands. So this is one of the new things which is there in the market, and the other department have created the hygiene checklist for the staff also. So they will go through that, and this is how they are planning to maintain the hygiene checklist. This is just some of the examples. You can implement some other things which you feel that can help or enables the hygiene standards at your outlet. So according to you, you can plan all the other things also. The other thing is insurance practice of hygiene and safety precautions. So you should always plan for some kind of safety and hygiene precautions in your kitchen, and you should hire some of the, or you can create a team also which is specialized in practicing the hygiene and safety precautions. So accordingly you can plan. Ensure compliance with company and hotel policy also. So you will be working with different kind of setups. Example, QSR stands for quick service restaurants. You will be working in different bigger companies or hotels like Taj, Oberoi's, Hilton, maybe ITC also. So they are having their own compliances with different hygiene practices and policies. So it's your responsibility, it's the responsibility of the executive chef to ensure the compliance of all those policies and practices at their level. Monitor key performance indicators. So KPIs is there for the kitchen chefs also. Key performance indicator, you should give them a target, analyze how they are performing. You should look at what is their success rate, what is the strategy they are doing, they are doing some kind of research, or maybe optimize what is being done. So based on these, you should be planning the KPIs for your chefs also. Ensure that menus are changed on regular basis. You have to work on the menus which is being served at your outlet or at your restaurants. So you have to ensure that the menus are changed on the particular basis. Analyze and monitor cost. What is the cost of raw material, what is the cost of raw ingredients which is being served, and what is the cost of the menu items which are available with you. Keep oneself updated. You have to keep yourself updated. What is there in the market? How it is going? So all these things you have to taken care. Ensure department employees are fully trained. Training of your staff is your responsibility. Attend behavioral and vocational training in own and related areas. You can plan for trainings for your staff in your areas, or you can send them to different areas also. Provide career development and succession planning for subordinates through training. So you should ensure their skills and behavior needs to be improved through proper training, and you are the one, or as executive chef, who will be taking care of it. Under executive chef, we will be having a position of executive sous chefs. So in case of non-availability of executive sous chefs, executive sous chefs will take care of the outlets, and they set up all the kitchen and prepare food are up to the agreed standards or not. So it's their responsibility, and they are in charge of different sections in the kitchen departments also. Full monitor portion control in assigned kitchen areas. So these are the people who will be monitoring the portion control in assigned kitchen areas also. So for a main course, if we have decided we will be giving 130 grams of the portion to a customer or a guest, so it has to be 130 grams every time. So these are the people who will be monitoring the portion control also in the assigned kitchen areas. Fully supervise in food tasting, preparation and food sampling in all production phases. So these are the people who will be executive chefs are planning for new food items. These are the people who will be preparing it. They are the persons who will be responsible for food tasting, presentation and food sampling also. As well as they conduct daily cleanliness check also with different department heads or assistant chief stewards also. Follow up in case of any issues related to executive chefs or maybe the junior staffs. So if something have complaint or maybe some kind of suggestions or maybe some kind of information which have come up to them, so these are the people who will be doing it. Recommend changes in the menus, assist the executive chefs and ensure physical upkeep. Okay, so these all are the departments. So we'll go through this, and that's it for today. Thank you so much. Looking forward to meeting you soon. Thanks a lot.